it's similar in style. Yeah, it's a
Okay.
roguelite. Yeah,
All
where
right, issue fixed.
loot,
That's
loot and shoot.
stupid.
Not loot and shoot, but you beat a level, you get power ups.
That's so unbelievable.
Fight bosses.
Alright, well, the issue is fixed.
Which way did those
We
elves
working now?
go?
It's scuffed, but it works.
Alright.
Is it scuffed because you have to turn off sonar?
Well, I have input on sonar, output on sonar gaming, instead of just the sonar, the SteelSeries Arctis one. Okay, but it works, so, and it sounds noticeably worse quality-wise, but, it's fun.
I have
Hog.
sonar gaming on right now, but I have my Discord input output is SteelSeries, but my computer input output is SteelSeries gaming.
Okay, well, if someone, alright, well, I guess we have to now,
We'll figure it out in the interim period.
That's so annoying.
When is this hiatus you were talking about, Amps?
We'll see if it'll be taken off to this week or off to the next week.
Wow.
Thumbs.
Okay, well,
You know that you're poggers?
Okay.
No.
Well, alright, well, to recap, Revius got information on the tear. My quarterstaff has been updated for mostly just channeling massive magic, and I'm currently in the process of re-enchanting robes of the Archmagi.
Alright. So, after the robes of the Archmagi's violent resistance to the wish spell, oh, yes, you need to roll the...
Yeah, I'm aware.
To keep wish.
Yep, 33 or lower, and...
That would be awkward.
Yeah, it would. I mean, I'd get it back, but not losing it would still be Krungo. Oh, fucking god.
Just...
Yeah.
The monkey paw for
Shut the fuck up. Jesus.
Alright, so as you remove the enchantment, the robe flails around, you feel drained.
Oh shit.
And you spend some time to reapply the enchantment after you take your 2 days rest.
Why would I do it after 2 days?
3 days?
Well, I'd have to roll for how low my strength is, but it's also a singular long rest gets you out of taking damage for casting spells. It's a roll to see how long your strength is set to almost nothing.
Yeah.
Also, she would actively strike while they are on respond to reapply the enchantment immediately.
Fair enough.
To not risk letting it dissipate, since that was
so
the implication.
Despite being physically drained, you push through and begin the process of reapplying the enchantment. It takes about 3-4 hours to reapply the enchantment. As
she goes to take a nap.
Slowly weave runes back onto the robes, and as you're going through the process, you see as the black robes slowly start to shift color towards a lighter gradient. Are they going to be white or gray?
They're going to be gray.
What?
They're going to be gray.
Oh.
Right. So they shift and their gradient lightens to a soft gray color as you weave in the lost runes, as your arms slump to the side, feeling heavy and weak.
What color is gray?
Neutral.
Oh.
They're neutral. Gray is
I
neutral.
see.
So it can be worn by anyone in the neutral spectrum and any neutral good or neutral evil, I believe.
Yeah. But given how even she has more of a, despite on good leaning, I thought it'd be better to put it on the neutral spectrum. Though you could definitely make a very solid argument for why I should have made him white. But I mean, let's be real. I'm just gonna
I mean,
probably
I'd very
clamp.
much argue that Ami is a neutral good,
Yeah.
so neutral scale works fine.
Well, considering her could be described fanatical obsession with sparing people, you could definitely put her on the you could
She
definitely
also
make
has a very strong chaotic streak.
Yo, true though?
I was making an argument of why I was giving you our reasons why you could have argued that I should have gone good or white.
But yeah,
Oh, she-
neutral is perfectly fine with me.
Yeah, she's certainly lawful-esque, but Jesus, does she has a chaos streak?
Yeah, and I think it balances out.
Yeah. Besides, she may be a black mage, but she's not that kind. Well, she certainly ain't evil.
He's a gray mage.
Wow.
A great mate. Shut up, Tyson.
I mean, if anything, she'd technically
And that's
be.
that's the next Final Fantasy class announced. Tyson just spoiled it for.
Well, the
14.
the problem is you already have a mix of red and white. It's called red. Why is it
know.
called
Yeah.
red? I don't fucking know, honestly.
Yeah, now we got Grey Mage, which focuses more on the healing aspect.
Well, technically they use the white side of magic through stone and magic barrier.
Yeah, so now we got the healer
Yeah, now it's
But
a
also-
healer that uses a little bit of like.
that uses a little bit of fire, a little bit of blizzard,
That's
and uses a bow.
So you
Yeah,
should.
uses a bow.
I mean, if anything, we already know. I mean, let's be real. I'm just gonna glamour the thing. I'm just going to Yoinkin. We're just gonna glamour them blue.
Lambert.
Yeah, glam. Others. I'm an 18th level wizard. If I can't.
It'd be funny if that's the class that ends up using a crossbow.
That wouldn't be.
Oh yeah.
hilarious.
Oh yeah. You probably are hunting for a class that uses a crossbow, aren't you?
Crossbows are cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's technically on the docket to get something next outside of caster. It's probably gonna be.
Dual
It's
You're out
crossbow.
here wanting a caster tank, though.
Okay, but dual.
yeah.
crossbow,
It's
so-
interesting. I mean, well, then you just cast LB2. Range LB2. Yeah, I want a caster tank. It sounds like a fun idea.
I mean, but to be fair, a monk Selby uses uses a sword, so
I mean, Monk
Uh,
LB just used to be the melee LB3. To be fair.
Alright, so. You
Speaking
now
of
have your new robe.
LB3s,
Wowie! Massive upgrades on my side.
speaking of LB3s, the Reaper one is really cool looking.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
I can't
Alright.
believe Nanami is now Steel Souls.
Oh right. Several roles of research for linking
Okay.
soul to tear.
Yep, go ahead. Give me Arcana checks.
Wowie, how many?
Give me. Let's go with 3.
I will not count myself under skill empowerment anymore because it'd be post training the shit out of myself. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Well, apparently they really just wanted me to have a really good time with these. Hot damn.
Alright, and this is researching the Terror.
Yep.
Alright. Where would you like to have your research focused?
See, okay, to not give me choice paralysis, what are good options? What are like some
You can investigate the effects of linking your soul to the tear.
okay.
You can investigate the effects of unlinking the Undying from the tear.
Okay.
And you can investigate the general effects that the tear has on the environment around it and the world as a whole. Those are
Okay.
your three main real choices.
Okay, so I'm going to put the nat 20 towards. Okay, so honestly, I think I'll just have them as they. All of those are really good, and I hate you for that. For not like, hey, this is obviously a better idea to research than other ones. It's annoying. Give me bad options so I know to.
research.
Give me
Recommend
bad.
research on the side.
Give me bad. Give me bad options so I know to avoid those ones. Asshole.
You can affect how food. You can investigate the effects of how the taste of food changes around the table.
Yo, wait, Pog. Yo, food buff? Pog. Yo, wait, food buff? Pog?
Food buff?
Pog? Yo, food buff? Pog?
Elerian.
Holy shit.
Kill someone.
Cold blood.
Kill.
And some murders of
Perhaps
cold
kill someone high in.
cold blood.
They
No,
walk to the tear, immediately dive from over encumbrance due to the fact their inventory is fucking full with ingredients.
Also, but I can't believe Ami is Gandalf from Lord of the Rings.
I'm not gonna say no.
Right.
No
Tell me
problem.
the grim.
Well,
That's funny.
And then she dies and becomes Ami the White.
And then she dies again and becomes Ami the Blue.
And then go Super Saiyan Blue.
well, now you're just giving me terrible ideas of making a class that's focused on stealing other people's attacks, Taylor. Good job. Good job. You've just given me as like, we could just put Blue Mage in all. You could just make a Blue Mage.
Yeah, that's
Good
your
job,
problem.
Taylor.
That's your problem now.
Good job, Taylor.
Oh.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
telling
your
you.
problem now, Mister. I'm gonna be DM next phase.
Me? Yeah? Absolutely not. That's can't. This is.
Huh?
Hey, I didn't say. I'm part of the DM team, not an actual dungeon master. My job is
Yeah,
still to read
that's-
everything that motherfuckers decide. Hey, I want to decree. Hey, I want to bring this along. Honestly, for the sake of my sanity, and until I can get to roll more, I'm going to just allocate them as is 19, 19, 20. Or 31, 31, 20,
Alright, so
32.
we'll start with the effects of linking your soul to the tear.
Thumbs up. 31, baby.
So, 31 for researching the effects of linking your mortal soul to the tear.
It's a bad idea. That's all you. That's all you learn.
So, you learn from your extensive research, reading a few of the same books that Rivius does, and finding a few others of a more
Dubious nature.
analytical sense.
But
Okay.
they have to be in common, so less common.
I could
Celestial
I could
Draconic.
I could rather easily get my hands on comprehend languages or slash tongues. I have the money to sell it for scrolls of those. That's I don't want that to be an issue currently.
Alright, so we'll deal with what you're able to find in common first before we go into
Yeah.
more exotic languages.
Thumbs up.
As most things are written in common in Elerian, as it is the primary language. It's more personal logs and journals that are written in native tongues.
Mhm.
So, for the effects of linking yourself to the tear, you will immediately gain a access to essentially a massive wellspring of magic.
Okay, so my initial guess of what was going to be happening isn't wrong.
The exact effects of this wellspring won't be fully known until you access it.
Do
But
it.
a few things that could be easily insinuated, things like access to more spells in all categories, possibly access to higher level spells.
Spells pass. Oh boy.
possible access to limited control over wild magic, since the tear is essentially a font of wild magic.
Wait,
All of
got a wild
all,
magic
all,
barbarian over here.
all these things are theoretical. None of these things have been tested. Nobody has linked their souls to the tear and
Yeah.
been open about it.
Yeah.
In terms of potential negatives, you will have essentially raw, untamed magic coursing through your entire body, which could have serious effects on your physical and mental well-being.
Yes.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Not too shocked about that.
There is also a less than zero chance that the power is simply too much and you will expire.
That is a risk I'm willing
And
to take.
wait, and then
Then I get rest,
we
and then I
drag
get
your
rest,
soul-
and then I
we
get
drag
rest.
your soul back. No, we
And then I-
drag your soul back.
I mean, it doesn't implicate how I die. It just says that I die.
Yes,
You-
the death could take multiple forms. Your body could simply drop dead from the overabundance of magic flowing through you. At which point your soul would become one with the tear.
Oh, life stream death. Cool.
Um,
Well, so much coming back from that.
Another potential is that your body will continue to live on, but your soul will be completely burnt out.
Yeah.
What does that entail?
Great
The
question.
soul dies, but the body lives on.
No, I'm talking about like
The implications on my mortal body for my soul.
There is no resurrection if there is no soul.
okay. I'm just never mind. Go ahead.
Yeah, essentially, Army's body would just become a husk.
That's
It would
rough.
become not so different from one of her simulacrums.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I thought this was like
Free real estate for a lich to take over.
free real
Ta-
estate.
I would tell everyone else to
kill. Yakers!
I would tell the rest of the party to kill me before destroy my body before that happens. Fuck's sake. Fuck that.
We steal Ami down in a flat. We steal Ami away so no lich gets to them.
And then the entire party plots some way to remake my soul.
Duct tape.
and maybe a bit of glue. Essentially, all the potential negatives would likely are potential results of death.
Yeah, who could have came out?
Potential.
Which, great power comes high chances of death. There are obviously ways that you can mitigate the potential death effects. Immediately channeling large amounts of magic after attuning your soul to the tear will allow you to expel some of the magic as your body grows accustomed to the sudden large influx.
Okay, so do big flashes. Okay, so do big things.
Fireball. Multiple times.
Okay, bigger than fire.
Essentially, you may have to do like multiple days of unleashing large amounts of spells on the surrounding area just to be able to not explode.
I'm dying.
Okay.
I'm sorry about that.
The other option is that since Mishra will be the one linking your soul to the tear, there is a high likelihood that she will be able to take large swaths of that energy to essentially shield you from the worst effects as your body grows used to the influx.
Okay.
Which is the reason, which you theorize is the reason for the importance of essentially a god doing this process.
Yeah.
It's likely why Bane did it with the Undying and why Mishra wants to do it with you.
I may be very accustomed to magic, but that's a lot even for me.
Ah, yes, just casting flow. Casually.
No, that's a low level teleport bullshit. No, we do big. We doing
It's low,
flash.
but worth.
We doing flash. And we don't know the odds yet. As long as I don't get told the odds, I can't be nervous about it. Well, more nervous than I already am.
Never tell me the odds.
I'm bad at math.
Man, am I bad? Man,
I understood the risk, but man, am I
man,
bad
I
at
am
math.
bad at math.
I took a calculated risk, and man, am I bad at math.
Listen, one of my characters. Okay, outside of my very first character, and a couple times with Tanner, and the first session I was here, felt that I've actually truly been at risk of death. So you know, I have a flawless character arc.
Wouldn't
So
it be funny if Ami did die in that one first session though?
that would have been hilarious. This entire everything would be so much different had she bit the dust in that very first session. Like, oh my god.
Ami dies and Alex respect until fucking, I don't know,
A bard.
rogue.
I could have, fuck's sake. Honestly, probably my second choice would have been Paladin. Dead.
Paladin.
Everything would be so much fucking different had I died that first session. You have no fucking clue.
What kind of Paladin do you think you would have gone for?
That's a phenomenal question. Like, that really is
We've got time to kill while I think
Yeah.
of things to tell you.
Watcher, Ancients, and Devotion are all really good. I don't want to do Oathbreaker. Oathbreaker could be fun, but I wasn't exactly that confident in my abilities to roleplay something like a good-ish aligned Oathbreaker. But probably the logic behind by Oathbreaking of assigned to a under Paladin order that he vehemently did not agree with later on into his time, so he broke the oath of his own accord to do better.
Because, I mean,
That sounds like it'd be fun.
An Oathbreaker Paladin could have been interesting in the setting because the largest Paladin order is an order of Dragon Hunters.
Well, that
So-
would have been interesting.
Oh, that would have been actually super interesting. What the fuck? Man. Oh well. I guess it simply wasn't to be done.
Never really got to explore much of them. I wanted to explore that a little bit more in Hunters of Elerian. But,
Yeah, and Hunters isn't really gonna. Yeah.
The biggest Paladin order in Elerian is a order of hunters, of Paladins that are dedicated to hunting down the lost of the dragons from the Dragon Wars.
Honestly, that would have been so much fun as someone who actually saw as someone who actually saw the good in dragons and became an Oathbreaker to oppose the Dragon Hunter order. Man, that would have been so cool. Fuck. Oh well.
It would have given me an excuse to explore that order more, but yeah, I've got ideas for exploring that order in what will essentially be the new world of Elerian.
Yeah, mostly because well, let's be real, they're going to become an outlawed order. They're literally just
Leave
going to
them
become
and orbital
outlaws.
Strike them out of existence.
I don't know that Ami doesn't know that they exist. That is quite literally their
know.
saving grace. That is their saving grace currently.
I was definitely gonna make like what's an eloquence bard?
Eloquence is always good.
Eloquence Bard, that's a fun
Eloquence
one.
is good. That's
I
good.
love
Into an
Eloquence
Eloquence Bard.
Bard.
Aren't you playing an
I'm
Eloquence
playing
Bard? Yeah.
I'm playing Eloquence Bard and Strahd.
So-
Yeah, I was like,
I was definitely.
Yeah, because he stole it from me.
But
So
yeah,
the
I was
funny
gonna
thing
do.
Oh, sorry, you go first.
No, I was just gonna say that was my backup character was definitely gonna be an eloquence bard.
Yeah, because he stole that idea from me.
No, we both had the same idea.
Yeah, but I thought of it first.
That-
Yeah, no.
It crossed my mind.
What did you do? Did you copyright the idea of playing an Eloquence Bard first, Taylor? No, I didn't think so.
What the fuck?
Because I just wanted to make a funny little bard like Banana Bard.
Amazing.
Banana Bard isn't a bard. He's a wizard.
Yes, but he's Banana Bard.
Other
Well,
thing.
he's part bard.
He's not
Actually,
part.
No, he's a bard who acts like a wizard. That was his
Oh.
whole thing.
Oh yeah, he was a bard.
He's an eloquent bard, but he behaves like a wizard.
I don't think I would have played Barbarian, mostly because I'm sorry, Gore. I don't find Barb all that interesting to play.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I mean,
Now,
most pure martials are kind of.
actually, that's a lie because I gave serious consideration to playing Scarseeker. I gave very serious consideration to play
That
Scarseeker.
one does have a very different playstyle.
Oh,
but-
Yes.
Also, you know that Celios is an eloquence bard, and God forbid him be released into Elerian.
Well, I mean, I can always smite him if you want.
Yeah,
Don't smite him.
Don't smite the boy.
yeah. I mentioned it
He's
before,
innocent
but-
he's innocent of most crimes.
Well, that means I have justified reason for smiting him. He's only innocent of most
that
crimes.
aren't involving him being a public nuisance.
Or horny.
Oh, so even more reason to smite him.
Can't
Mostly
believe
being a public nuisance.
That's
Yeah,
good
so
enough
if
reason
you
for me,
had-
baby!
If you had lost on me and become a paladin, then I would have probably joined in as my wizard, as my necromancer.
Yeah, me and Gore's roles literally would have been flipped.
Yep.
That's so funny to think
and
about.
With a very different party makeup. Like
Cleric-
personality-wise.
Cleric paladin, rogue fighter for the first part, into cleric paladin, potentially barbarian again. Although I think Can would have ended up going with something different other than the barbarian we had for all of 3 sessions.
Yeah.
And to cleric paladin, because I think you probably still would have chosen the same thing, Tyson. Potentially,
Yeah, well,
because
if
we would have
somebody else
had
is
seriously
probably,
lacked range.
yeah.
We would have seriously been lacking his range and
Yeah.
just ranged in general at that point, anyways.
yeah.
So, okay, so
Also, Tyson is very he plays D&D, but he doesn't do the whole talking thing.
I don't know what.
okay, would have been cleric paladin
It's okay, Tyson.
fighter
I
rogue.
believe in you.
into cleric paladin fighter rogue
I'm leaving. Goodbye.
ranger into
Leaving, goodbye.
whatever Can would have replaced Can with, into cleric paladin ranger wizard necromancer wizard. Quite almost the exact opposite of our current party. Well, not quite almost exact opposite, but
I just-
we would have had a equally as disgusting wall, if not more, because I would have power gamed the fuck out of my AC/defenses.
Mhm.
Ah, yes, you'll be more power gamer for your power gamer.
And if everything had gone the same way, I probably would have been started playing Final Fantasy around the same time. God help any of the DM team. God help any of the DM.
Yeah,
God
they've
help.
been fucking asking for wings and
I mean, cause they're cool, motherfucker. Cause they're cool.
the ability to call swords down from the sky.
I would have waited until high level for that. You know what?
I
Or
would
the-
be asking for upgrades to my undead minions and then stuffing them in bags of holding.
Yes, the classic.
I'm
Go,
fucking
my
so-
minions! Opens bags of holding.
Also,
We would have also
I
had.
may have attempted to search for a a mummy lord. I think it was the meta necromancer thing to do.
We probably okay.
Because
Well, I
we
mean, there
had-
probably would have been party conflicts, but on the virtue of good paladin, necromancer, wizard. Those don't.
I mean,
Those
Necromancy isn't
it
inherent.
depends. It depends on the necromancer.
and depends on the paladin and how
yeah.
fanatical he is. Which I guess he wouldn't necessarily be because he because he would probably start as an Oathbreaker and transition into something else. Potentially
Well,
Redemption, because
also-
Redemption's pretty cool. Well, maybe
Also,
probably
with
Ancients.
Sculptor, I haven't played him that much, obviously, but for him, it's literally just like he's a robot trying to discover what life is.
Okay, well, yeah, that's pretty
And
important.
And he also, you know, only takes corpses that were already actually sort of abandoned
Okay,
or
fair enough.
enemies. You know, he doesn't go around killing innocents for new minions. He just
I would probably take some offense to you taking the corpses of our enemies.
Aww.
What?
But like, especially later on
And
necromancer
memes.
abilities though, where it's just like, oh yeah, you can just take control of other people's undead.
That'd be funny. That would have been really funny down in the crypt.
Oh yeah.
That would have been hilarious.
And that's why I
Within a
also
different-
I'd
within
look
different-
for like a mummy lord, like I said, because like there's a necromancer like meta build or something for just how many minions you can have. Apparently, if you like, there's like a limit on what kind of creatures you can permanently control with your as a necromancer. Like if they have too much intelligence or something, you're not. They get to like save every turn or every day or something against your control. But a mummy lord has just low enough intelligence that it can't do that. And then they have all these abilities to raise their own undead, and so you have like a minion with its own. You have just an army.
Artificer. Which way did they all go? Load shotgun with malicious intent. that's my load shotgun with malicious intent. Which way did they go? That's my kind of artificer.
Yo, true. This is why I want a good.
Can't
Alright.
believe. Can't believe.
What
So-
can't you believe, Tyson?
No, I mean I entirely believe it.
I can't believe this thing that I entirely believe.
Yeah.
So, what other effects of the tear linking my soul to it? Also, can I
I
get
want
these?
you to give me
Okay.
at disadvantage.
Oh boy.
I want you to give me a religion check.
Okay.
Religion check at disadvantage.
Well. Yeah, it's not
To
quite
see if
anything.
you can ascertain this detail.
I don't think I have any bullshit for that. I don't think I do.
Bad.
Well, I still have a plus 12. Okay, an
20.
8. That's still pretty high, by all accounts.
Alright. You know that the process, regardless, outside of any other effects, the process of your soul being linked to the tear will leave you both physically and mentally vulnerable.
Okay, so not too unexpected, honestly.
And that it may be easier for an outside force to enact its will upon Ami.
Okay,
Okay.
so okay, I
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you might get puppeted.
or not. Depends on what happens.
And that is all the real details that you can ascertain about directly linking your soul to the tear. Or
Without further-
anyone linking their soul to the tear.
Without further research.
Without further research, yes.
Okay. Now on to the next.
Next one.
What?
Disconnecting the undying soul from the tear.
Yeah. Because if all
So-
goes to plan, I'm gonna be caped in that motherfucker's soul.
So,
It's the question of if I could use his soul to empower mine, but yeah, I'm not evil, so
let's have a little talk about
Yes.
this. All right. So you know that the undying soul is connected to the tear,
Yes, I learned that.
From your various research, along with finding some of the similar journals to Rivius, and if you're willing to spend the what level is comprehend language?
Third. All right. Well, comprehend
Third?
language is first. Tongues is third.
Or which one will let you read things?
I comprehend. Let me go check.
I
would
think
it would be
comprehend
comprehend. Yeah.
I don't
It's
know it, but I can.
comprehend.
Because comprehend languages let you understand, whereas tongues let you speak it, I believe. Speak it as well.
Okay, comprehend is. You also understand any written language you see, but must be touching the surface on which the words are written. Takes about a minute to read the text. Okay.
So comprehend languages would be fine. So that would just be a
Yeah.
common, uncommon.
Common. Tongues would be-
For a spell scroll of that.
Looking.
Nutters.
First.
How's everyone
Yeah, common.
doing?
Yeah, common. So like 93.
How's
Yeah,
everyone doing?
Doing all right.
Okay.
All right. So, go ahead and spend that money if you would like to have.
did.
If you would like for Army to know the information about.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Honestly,
did.
Alex, you know what I'm surprised about?
What?
How you haven't tried to recruit Panda into our cult.
Of what? Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I'm
ultimately his
surprised,
choice.
honestly. You've literally
I mean,
tried literally everyone else.
I
I
mean,
think I've mentioned before that with MMOs hasn't really clicked
Not
in
really
a
sure.
while. Just because,
Well, I mean-
the only
you
one
know-
I've really stuck with ever is like Elder Scrolls Online, and I still haven't played that in years.
well, I mean, you can't lose anything by trying other than time, because free trial exists, and the meme is true. Although yeah, the meme is true. So,
The meme is in fact true.
and there's plenty of people who would be willing to help you through literally any problem you might have.
And it's more Final Fantasy, and you do like your Final Fantasy.
I can confirm it is a lot of Final Fantasy bullshit, especially in the Raider X packs. It's so good.
But also, it's emotional damage of the highest caliber.
So Final Fantasy.
The Final
Yeah,
Fantasy.
exactly. It's Final Fantasy to go with your Final Fantasy. To go with your Final Fantasy.
Obviously, the start's a bit slow, mostly because it has to establish the world. But once it gets going, oh boy, does it get going.
It fucking
And,
pops off.
The train doesn't really stop.
Choo choo,
Well-
all aboard the emotional
Yeah.
damage train. Choo choo.
All right.
So, yeah. Alright, go ahead, Ups.
So, if you spend the money to get the scroll to comprehend
Yeah.
languages, you'll also be able to learn the same things that Rivius did about the instability of the tear whenever a dragon was felled, and the sort of stability that occurred when around the time when the Undying Soul was linked to the tear.
My best guess, and by proxy, I mean best guess, is that before that, Bane had to exert his magic on the Favorunian side, but once the Undying pact was made, he was able to bring himself to the other side. That wasn't at the beck and whim of the tear. That's my best guess that I have for why the hell that worked. Why the hell
So-
that's how it worked.
The main point that you can ascertain is with a 31.
Yeah.
One of the main points you're able to ascertain is that whether it was before or after they crossed, every dragon that crossed through the tear, their soul was linked to the tear.
Hmm.
Not
So that probably means that the super ancient black that we met soul is also linked to the tear. Huh. Yeah, that's what I kind of inferred. That's honestly what I kind of inferred, but I just thought it was more of a link.
And you can infer that that gave them some sort of mental and physical connection to each other as well,
Yeah.
which is the reasoning for their increased aggression after the first one fell. Essentially, all the dragons that came through the tear felt the death of the first dragon. Which correlates with the story that you were told by Gahak.
Oh, you found her name.
Yes, I found her name. Correlates with the story that you were told by Gahak about how after the first dragon fell, she felt a deep pain and sorrow in her soul, and while her brethren became more aggressive and violent, she went the exact opposite route and fled and hid herself away to attempt to create a better world.
Man, I can't believe we found better redacted from Heaven's Word. The dragon's name starts with an H.
What?
I'm making a Final Fantasy joke.
Oh.
So one of that is one of your main things. Another would be that the Undyne, after linking his soul to the tear, likely joined into this mental network. Which means every time a dragon was felled, he felt it.
That's also probably why he came in so incredibly depressed about his actions. That would actually track, yeah. From a psychological standpoint, yeah, that would make sense of why he became so incredibly depressed and regretful of all his actions.
You also can guess that there was a large period of similar magical instability inside of him when his soul was linked to the tear, as you would probably experience, but Bane likely curtailed that for him.
Sure.
And another big one, the instability of the tear indicates that every time a dragon was felled, that something happened with the tear that caused it to become unstable. But that instability stopped after the Undyne soul was linked to the tear.
Uh-huh.
Which means that there was likely some kind of effect, not just the mental effects, but possibly some sort of heavy physical toll taken on the Undyne every time a dragon died, because now instead of that instability and essentially loss of the stabilizing factor from the dragon being felled was placed onto his soul as opposed to the tear.
That's fun. That's honestly, that just gives me more justification to kill dragons. I don't know. That's fine stuff, I guess.
That seems fun.
Looking through, as you would look through records of dragons and the hunting reports of felled dragons, both from Eternia, Elerian, as well as other independent hunting groups, as well as you actually come across records about the paladin dragon hunters.
Wow.
And their records of the dragons that they have felled. You find that
fucked.
all but about 7 documented dragons from the Dragon War are dead. There is Gahak, who is marked as whereabouts unknown. There is the green dragon in the fairy forest that is marked as too dangerous to challenge due to the nature of the forest.
Yep.
There is another dragon that fled to the Untouched Lands, the large island continent off of Elerian's east coast.
Yeah, where Rosalina's
And-
from.
And a hunt has been in preparation for hunting that dragon for the past several years, but gain admittance as well as risk-free travel through the Untouched Lands is difficult due to the large presence of tribal factions.
She's going to make a
Yeah.
mental note to have Tariff block any potential try and exert some political to block that exposition and probably just outlaw that order altogether in Eternia.
There is a fourth black dragon that is recorded as having been provided sanctuary by one of the smaller kingdoms in the northern regions of Elerian.
Huh.
And thus is considered off limits until preparations are made for the treaty to be annulled.
Nope, not happening. I mean, frankly, the easiest thing to do is just outlaw the Paladin Order. To be real, I'll probably end up doing that.
And finally, the last three dragons are all marked as having flown to the west and are unaccounted for, as where they have gone to is unknown.
Okay, so there is a continent out west.
Given the fact that at the start of the Dragon Wars, there was well over 100 dragons that came through the tear.
So, yeah, less than 10% survived.
With the knowledge that you have from the various observations that were done during the course of the Dragon Wars, you strongly believe that the tear should be closed by now. The tear should have naturally closed as dragons were felled.
True.
Which indicates
That's-
that literally the power of 93 dragon souls is being pulled from the Undines to keep the tear open and stable.
Might have to talk to Hamid about that. Or
No wonder he's fucked up.
I know shit. And that's also just all the more reason to not let Bane get a hold of his soul. Honestly, that I'm glad that was my plan from the start of learning of his true origins. But yeah, that's no, cannot let him have that.
So yes, the strain being placed onto the Undying's mortal soul would be intense and likely catastrophic were it to be severed from the tear, as he is acting as a stabilizing factor on the tear.
He's a stopgap.
Essentially he is acting as a surge protector against the tear's instability.
But
You, however, can only make guesses as to what the potential effects of his soul being severed from the tear would be. It could it could just close, but that closure would be incredibly violent, as
Yeah, that's
it would expend hundreds of years worth of energy within a second.
Yeah, no, that's a potential. That's a quite literally an apocalyptic event. That's not an option.
There is also the potential that because its stability loss would be so sudden that what it's connected to could potentially suddenly shift, and it may cause several tears to open both across Elerian as well as across multiple other worlds that either it is or isn't connected to yet.
Do
Which
I
could
know?
be a potentially cataclysmic event on a different scale.
Yeah, that would be multiversal cataclysmic instead of just locally cataclysmic.
There is also the potential that the sudden loss of stability comes around into a full-on stabilizing factor, and the tear just doesn't change.
What'd you say? Say that again, please.
Essentially, there is the potential that the sudden loss of stability comes all the way round back into a stable form, and the tear just continues to exist with a bit of instability initially, and then essentially stabilizing again. That's the three main options that you can think of, but you don't know for certain what could happen. Anything could potentially happen. It could slowly release its energy over a period of time, and over the course of the next 100 to 10,000 years, it could slowly close. It might never close. The connection to worlds may start to jumble and shuffle around and change every few years as the tear becomes unstable, and just randomly the tears will open and close in various different worlds for a few years.
Okay, so here's the $1 million question. What do I think would happen if I place the Undying Soul in the Soul Cage spell? I've posted in chat for your reading pleasure, Mr. DM.
So, we talked about this. I have talked about this with the DM team already. We've looked at Soul Cage. Trapping his soul in a cage would effectively sever it from the tear.
Okay, I was afraid of that. So it's
You can
either
imagine that this is one of the largest reasons that Mistra wishes to connect your soul to the tear and essentially replace the Undying, is to maintain that stability factor. However, knowing the sort of strain and that his soul has been placed under, your soul will very suddenly acquire all of that strain and
that
on it. However, your soul could be argued to be significantly stronger than the Undying, since you are close to divinity at this point.
close to divinity plus potentially untold bonus power from faith, from the potential faith of the world. So okay.
So you may have an easier time dealing with it than the Undying Soul, but it will still be incredibly taxing.
So it's either potentially risk cataclysm, or give the thing we're trying to kill a man's soul who had been providing the power of 93 dragon souls. Fun options we've got here, folks.
Yeah.
Very
Oh,
fun
very
options
fun.
we've got. Very fun options we've got there. But I mean,
We got so many fun options. It's like a carnival.
it's a carnival of terrible options.
Spin the wheel of cataclysmic events!
Are we going to get flooded, or is the entire world going to be set aflight? Are we going to get wiped out by a bioweapon that's being incidentally enhanced due to events on a literally different world? Who knows? Spin the wheel of death!
We're inventing the calamity.
we accidentally become the warrior. Okay, I can't say that because that's spoilers. But I think you all know what group I was about to reference. We accidentally
I too want to become a.
redacted.
I too want to die.
I too wish to become a redacted. Park.
I too want to die.
All right. So, is there any particular questions you have in regards to this, or
Well,
With multiple souls to share the burden.
That's an actually great idea.
that is a good idea.
And all four of us just be like, hey, we're all in this together.
We rise as one or fall, we fall together.
We just fucking link all of our souls in a pair. Fuck it, we ball. Well, it's friendship.
So we actually just pull a Final Fantasy. Okay, that's not the worst.
I mean,
I'm a real. I do not have any further questions at time. The one that I had has been answered. Obviously, and then obviously the last thing which I crit on because low amount my luck.
all right? And what was the last one again? It was
General effects and the such and so.
All right, so you know that being near the tear the tear is outputting large amounts of wild magic at a pretty much continuous pace.
Uh-huh.
As this wild magic flows across the world, it thins and dissipates and essentially forms into the Elerian weave. As the magic flows outwards, it calms and becomes more easily manipulated by magic users, both of the arcane and religious variety.
you know, real talk though, it must have been weird maybe us to wake up with magic one day, like dead ass.
Probably. But as you would get closer and closer to the tear, you feel it slightly here in the city of Eternia. The city of Eternia is not too far away from the tear. You feel the slight, like, tangs of wild magic, but it's not enough that it really affects anything. As you get closer to the tear, that is very much a potential to change.
Mm-hmm.
You believe that in the presence of the tear, the use of any sort of magical ability could trigger a wild magic, not a wild magic surge, but a wild magic reaction. So as opposed to rolling on the wild magic table, something could just happen to the wild magic in the atmosphere that's around you.
Ah, yes,
Yeah.
it's uncontrollable magic. My favorite.
These effects could range from basically anything. With wild magic, there is a sort of practiced and almost understood variety of things that could potentially happen. Around the tear, that list is thrown out. You find multiple documents from the old archives here in Eternia, detailing the fact that spellcasters are restricted to not using their abilities when around the tear. No spell casting is allowed by any of Eternia's mages around the tear, as the effects can be wholly unknown.
Oh, guess we're breaking some rules.
Yo, we breaking rules here?
Probably not.
What you do know is that this likely means that there are very few, if any, spellcasters at the Fortress of the Tear. But it
That's
does also mean that the use of spellcasters on the side of an invading force would also have to be limited, if not entirely restricted.
Well, damn,
Yes,
it's a shame. Damn, it's a shame that we're going to be ignoring that fact.
Oh, you can't. This can't stop me. I can't read.
I can. I'm just choosing to. Oh, I mean, I can. I'm just choosing to ignore that section because it's
Yeah,
far more
Rami's
fun.
can read.
It's written in Inferno, and Ami just dispels comprehend
the-
languages. I can't read this.
I mean, she'd acknowledge it. She just wouldn't give a shit because
I mean, Rivius can read it, but he won't.
it's time.
He
It's
won't.
time to take risks.
In terms of some effects you can identify, spells could be entirely augmented into potentially stronger spells. There's been a few occasions of spells being limited in their scope, but more often than not, they tend to become empowered by the wild magic around them. Spell effects could entirely be changed against the caster's will. You find one instance where a cleric of Bane attempted to cast cure wounds on a soldier that was injured during training, and instead disintegrated them.
Oh God. Oh no.
Anyways.
Don't anyways that.
But you believe that you could potentially find a way with your crit. You believe that you could potentially find a way to absorb these effects with tamed wild magic crystals,
Ooh.
thus preventing these effects from occurring to your persons.
Oh yo, it's like redacted in the game, the video game. Thumbs up emoji. The redacted in the thing. With the.
Oh,
with,
the thing that actually turned out to be a significantly less interesting thing. It's just that it was from the past, because that's just how magic was back then.
yeah.
Okay, cool. Just double checking. Blessing of like Gilbert.
So you could potentially use your new ascertainment of tamed wild magic crystals to essentially absorb negative effects into the crystals. Thus preventing these strange wild magic occurrences happening to any people who possess them.
Neat.
Neat.
I think it's neat.
I just think it's
And that is your main benefit from gaining your crit. You're 32.
wow. Well, guess I chose a good one. Well, guess I chose the right thing to crit. Curious what I got if I crit the other things, but well, I guess I just have to wait when or sash reach it.
All right. Is there any other things you would like to know?
From these things, not particularly. Unless you have any other interesting tidbits you think would be neat to know, just as general lore information. Since you've probably been waiting to tell about this stuff for a pretty long time.
The only other real detail that I can give to you at this point is that, in regards to the Undying, you believe that as much as his soul has been likely had for the last 200 years, the literal strain of the entire tear weighing upon it, you believe that that also has given him access to the near full potential of using the tear.
Oh boy, it's time for a fight. Oh boy.
It's a firefight.
I can't wait to get our ass kicked and then we do an anime protag moment of standing up again.
Yeah, I'm not. Hey, one of the things we did want to do was point Undying. Transcend.
Do you think Emps will make a threatening boss this time?
Yeah, probably. So I mean,
hope.
I mean, the dragon was
the
threatening.
the Dracolich was threatening. That one just exists.
We just planned around Elwyn, and it really, really paid off. Crazy
See an
when
elf
they.
in the corner going, "Hi."
Look at this gay elf. Gay half elf.
But
He
yeah,
can
I mean,
kill
yeah,
things.
I mean, yeah.
We're gonna have to be more transphobic. Not transphobic.
Ah,
Homophobic
wow.
next time.
Half the D&D party is gay. That's
Yes, we're gonna have to be more homophobic next time.
I mean,
we'll have to specifically. We'll have to be more homophobic and more elf-phobic.
I know who to get for. I know who to get if you want to be elf-phobic. I know who to get. I just need to click. I just need to go through the Cath, or several other people.
Does Rubicap hate elves?
Nah, it's a running joke of fuck elves. It's just a running joke. Not necessarily with him. It's just that it's a running joke to say fuck elves in general because elves are kind of assholes in most D&D settings.
But fuck elves though, you know?
Yeah, like that.
True though.
Like fuck elves. Italics, you know?
Amazing. But the Draco Witch was threatening. We just prepared like a lot and then didn't need like half of it, mostly because we played our cards. Yes, we bossed the shit out of Elwyn, and then he popped off, and then the thing just kind of died repeatedly.
Look at the boy. He popped off.
He also just crit like 10 plus times or something.
Yeah, Tyson kinda hot though.
There's also I just want to say, I'm not gonna say what it is or anything because I want it to come about naturally. There's a thing that I'm hoping you guys do in the final boss fight, because just the preparation that me and Ferg put into if this incredibly unlikely thing happens is just phenomenal.
Well, when I want to see it, when I want to do this incredibly specific thing.
I will tell you guys what it is after the fight. If it doesn't happen, but it's incredibly unlikely to happen.
Well, I want it to happen because I don't want that sort of hard work to go on. It was more of we went. What happens if they do this? And then we spent like an hour talking about it and came up with an idea that was really cool. And okay, but can we get a hint at least?
No.
You're a dick.
Okay, I'll give you this hint. It's a very Emmett Selk moment.
Wait.
Which one?
Exactly.
There's several. There's.
What do you mean? I hate you. I'm going to bed.
That's the only hint
No!
I'm giving.
No. I have. Well, I mean, I have a bit of an Emmett Selk moment of myself planned, but it's more from his fight than. Don't worry about him. Emmett Selk gets Panda. Yeah, it's not. If you didn't get a Final Fantasy, that's literally not a character you're going to see until end of Stormblood. Almost all of Shadowbringers.
You aren't going to see in the free trial.
You're not going to see him in the free trial. You're not even going to hear mentioned. Not even mentioned. Well,
but also,
yeah.
Fred is obsessed with him.
Yes, obsessed italics. Actually, let me end the stream. And there's okay. There's several characters that Murders accepts list.
Oh yeah, I was supposed to tell you, Imps. I told you.
Fine.